Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. At the time of this recording, it is about middle of January of 2025. So I am kind of in a holding pattern. I have a lot of things that I'm working on or want to work on or planning to work on, things that I've done recently that have kind of, pivoted me to do other things regarding the Star Wars collection. And I just want to talk about it today. Maybe talk about my plans for 2025 and see what kind of things you can expect from the channel this year. It's been a great, 2024 was a great year. It was a hard year. There was, personal struggles. Nothing crazy. Everything's fine. But I mean, like everybody, people, have good years and not so good years. And I don't like to think that. I don't think a year is a good year or a bad year. I think, sometimes there could be an excessive amount of bad things to happen to people in a year and they might consider it a bad year. But I think 2024 was relatively a decent year. I dealt with a few personal tragedies, but I also dealt with some personal triumphs and other things that went on. So in my personal life. So overall, I felt blessed. So now here we are staring down the barrel of 2025, and I want to kind of think about, where things are right now, what I want to plan to do, and how I want to curate the collection, change it up a bit. So some of this stuff we've talked about, but I thought maybe I would just kind of do a walk and talk, kind of go through the present collection in its current form right now and talk about, some things that I'd like to consider doing, in the future, how I'm going to change it up. We've talked about, the rumors that Hasbro might be dropping the whole Star Wars license. Nothing at the moment of this recording, nothing of that has happened. So I'm not really going to worry about that. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm going to just move on from there. But I thought I'd just kind of walk through the collection a little bit, give you a few things that have happened that might change things a bit on how I do things. So let's walk and talk. Before we do that, I want to share this great little photo of me. That's me on the right. That's my big brother, Nick. And this is us back in the early 70s. And I actually found this in my parents' house. My mom had passed away last year when one of the personal tragedies. So we are in the process of, we've cleaned out the house and are now in the process of selling it. But I found this kind of under the staircase, and I thought, oh, this is cute. So I wanted to keep that up. Me and my brother are buds, and I want to, always be reminded of family. Is family first. When I come down the staircase to the Star Wars collection in the basement, I always want to remember family always comes first. And that's my wife, Cindy. She's probably going to be mortified that I shared this, but this is one of those photos you get at Disney where you they superimpose your face on the Disney or the Star Wars characters. So there we go. I've pointed that out in the past, but one of the things I did fairly recently was that I got some. This is not a wood floor. This is actually a mat, like an exercise mat, that foam. 2 feet by 2 feet mat. If you look closely, you can see the puzzle piece there. And I had done that over here with this type of flooring, which is great, but it's a little more industrial, meant just for like a workout room. But then I saw this, so I decided to test it out in this room, and it's really nice. Unfortunately, this is like a dance floor room. We use it to do. My wife does some tap dancing, and unfortunately, this doesn't really work well for tap dancing. So I'm gonna have to get some type of a false floor to put on top of this, or take these off when she wants to use it. But there's a pretty good thing here. But as you can see, we have some of the collection is curated here really nicely, and you can see these cases have a lot of Hot Toys sideshow figures in them. Okay. One thing I've learned is you'll notice on the bottom level I have a couple of Gentle Giant animated maquettes, but I keep them off the ground about 6 inches because if we have a little heavy rain, there is a chance that the space could flood, and I don't want to have any collection on the really bottom floor. But Anyway, so I worked on this the other day. It was pretty quick, so I might decide to maybe incorporate this into all other rooms in the collection. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. There's my ghost box. That because I put the ghost up, I decided to keep it, at least, you know, for the time being. There he is in all of his glory. All right, kind of tucked in. As you can see, the space is, you know, we take as much advantage as possible of space, but we are in the process. I'm in the process of doing some adjusts. For one thing, you might notice as we go down, this is my some of my Black Series figures. You may notice that it's starting to thin out a little bit at the bottom there. Okay, part of that was, you know, these bottom shelves used to have figures like that. I've since put a bunch of figures out for the sale, and because I am going to part with most of my Black Series figures. There's a bunch here that these are probably the ones I'm going to keep, a lot of these, only because, or at least temporarily, because what I've decided to do, or there's my Black Series figure, that Hasbro thing, although it's kind of weird. Look at it. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. That doesn't really look like me, I don't think. Well, for one thing, I don't have that much hair. So, but yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I might try it again another day. We'll see. But anyway, so what I've decided to do is that the vintage collection is going to be my main focus for my collection. Okay, vintage collection meaning original vintage stuff. The vintage, the VC numbered figures and some vehicles and playsets, HasLab, and Disney related, which is all of this. Okay, although I haven't been doing much with Disney collecting. In fact, I try to stick mostly to popcorn buckets and like figures, you know, and droid figures and things like that. I've been trying to stick to that mainly. And you know, the reason being is very simple. I mean, look at the space. There's just a lot here, you know, so slowly, I think if it's not falling into one of those categories, we're probably going to see a lot of these slowly go out into the sale. Will they go out this year? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. My Adidas R2-3PO sneakers, you know. Anyway, so that's where I'm thinking of naming. These are all the Muppet characters. I will keep those. I'll keep the Disney characters. Again, they're Disney related. But everything else, I'm planning on, you know, slowly putting them out little by little. I have a lot of stuff out for the sale, and I'm excited to get that started. In fact, I was actually thinking about taking a few of the bins to a local flea market on a Saturday morning and just putting some stuff out and seeing what happens with those. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. I'm kind of in the, you know, kind of on the fence about it. I like that I've kind of curated a nice loose collection of figures because, you know, I can pull them out and use them. One cool thing is, like, I grabbed all my Rebels, my original Rebels figures, and that's what ended up here. I don't want to take this out because they can all fall apart if I do, but they're all kind of on display in there. So that's really cool. So I wanted to, you know, I don't need to take the vintage collect. That means that these that came with the Ghost, I want to leave these packaged. And I'm just trying to curate a nice carded VC collection. So anyway, so some of the things I have on the plate of things I want to do, I want to work on. You'll notice that, you know, there's some holes in the collection here. Like I took away some Black Series carded figures. I put them out for the sale. I like this Boba Fett figure, so I'm going to keep him up. I'm going to keep him for a while anyway. And I like these 50th anniversary Lucasfilm kind of throwback to the episode 1 packaging. Here's some from the original Power of the Force 2 packaging, Power of the Force Tuba with the green carded, and I love these too, the figures that were meant to, the repaint versions of Ben and of Greedo that meant to look like the original vintage collection. So if there's like a, you know, if there's some type of a connection to vintage, that's what I'm liking. And then I'm not talking about just, you know, vintage characters. I mean, I'm excited to. That's about all my Funko Pops that are left. Most of my Funko Pops are going out to sale. Yeah, they're loose, so I'm only going to sell them for like $1 a piece. But there they are. Hey kids, remember when Force Awakens came out and they had ice cream? These are customized figures. Okay, these are, some of them are actual customs. Okay, that is not a real Blix. Okay, these are just my custom figures from different places, Next 17, things like that. And then some of them are figures from like the retro style figures from Hasbro. We have a couple of figures here that are from Droids, and then some more retro. I unboxed a lot of the retros, but then I've been seeing in Ollie's that they have a lot of them available, so I've been picking up for very little money a few of them. Oh, there's some more of those carded Black Series. I mean, you know, they'll probably end up going eventually. Eventually, I plan on parting with most of my Black Series. Speaking of that, I didn't finish what I was saying. My brain is not fully active. So what I'm going to do, if the vintage collection, meaning the 3 3/4 inch with the original, you know, retro 70s, 80s card art, you know, racing stripe cards, if they do not have a figure represented, I'm going to keep the figure in Black Series form, unless it exists in one of the original lines, like Rebels or whatever. So these guys I might part with, although I do like that Zeb figure. Sometimes I just like the figure, you know, I just like the representation. But again, eventually there won't be enough space for everything, so things will go. Let's go into the other room. The studio. Oh, you can see here we have the Bo-Katan retro figures that on a previous episode I actually repainted. I need to do some touch-ups with these, but I was actually waiting for, I actually got a, I'm kind of really impressed with these. I enjoy how these came out. You know, again, you know, like this was a Mando figure, but now I've totally changed it up. I'm really proud of these. I mean, I'm not in any way, you know, there are people that do amazing work. I'm just an amateur, folks, but now this one looks like it could probably use a touch-up, which I might do. Well, we'll see. But I like them. You know, you would never know that any of these were Bo-Katan, right? Not that I have any problem with Bo-Katan. I love Bo-Katan, but I already have a Bo-Katan, and I wanted to build an army here. So I do want to take a marker, black paint marker, and try to update some of this, the T visor a little bit. Like this one especially, you can see, if you look at it really closely, you can see that there's just a little bit of paint splotching that I want to try to fix. Plus, the the Bo-Katan T visor was kind of more curvy, and I think I want to try to do a little straight out thing. I'm not going to show that on channel. I'm just going to do that on my own. But and there are all the weapons. So yeah, I was been really impressed with this, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put these. I might maybe try to make up a small diorama. That's something else I've been thinking about doing, is some diorama building, smaller ones. I've been liking that Hasbro has been doing things like this, you know, like the you know, the carbon freezing chamber. Although I do feel this is a little bit overkill. It's kind of big. So that's one thing. I also, like I said, if a vintage figure has not come out yet, I am going to pick up some Black Series figures. Although I do realize that these guys, I think both of these, I don't remember if this is from Andor, Mon Mothma. I don't think I have her. I hope I didn't double up. I don't. Oh, yes I did. So, okay, goes into sale. Oh well. What can you do, right? And on top of that, these two, I think they have assigned vintage collection figures for these two. So I think I will keep these on display temporarily. But this is Jedi Master Indara and Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. I like the characters. I was not a hater on an Acolyte. I'm sorry that, you know, one thing that I was listening to that some people were saying about the problem with streaming. This is kind of a stream of consciousness today, I know. The problem with streaming is that with streaming, people don't necessarily start to watch the streaming all together. They may be catching up later. You know, anytime you get a streaming TV show or whatever comes out in November, December, you know, people are watching Christmas movies and Hallmark Channel and all this other stuff. They're not watching it. So to me, it's like it's kind of a you know, you need to give it like a year, I think. But anyway, one thing I'm thinking about doing is that I'm trying to develop a collection of, I want, as much as I love the boxes, I love these boxes. I have not collected like right here, Jabba's Palace. That's new, right? That's not something from the original Return of the Jedi from '83. That is actually a very recent item that came out, but they kind of released it in a box that is very reminiscent of the original Racing Stripe Return of the Jedi thing. I am trying to develop and build a collection of the boxes from a lot of these things. Now, I have collected quite a few, but and if I have a old version, like if they released a TIE Interceptor, there's my TIE Interceptor box in my original one, I wouldn't get another one that looks just like it, even if they have modern figures posing with it. But if there's a brand new one and I just didn't get the ship, then I might try to look for that on eBay. Although I have done pretty well. There's the Mandalorian back there. That's the ATST. There's the modern day Imperial Troop Transport. So there's a couple of things there. So I'll have to kind of go through them and see. I noticed some people selling boxes on eBay for less money, so maybe I'll do that. I'll have to consider that. And you know, you can see there's a lot of, it's just a hodgepodge of a lot of different things here. A lot of this is you know, probably fodder for the sale. Not 100%. No, not the vintage collection figures up there. Those are purchased in an auction. Those are probably my finest ones that I have. So those will be saved for a while. But anyway, so yeah, so some of my projects, see if I can build up a box collection or pick up a few of the more recent last 10 years vehicles. I've been enjoying Pally Toy. They have this Death Star detention block that I picked up. And in here is another Pally Toy thing that I'll do on a future unboxing. So yeah, I'm just curating it in different ways, trying to figure out ways that make sense to me. And again, it changes, you know. A lot of this also, like there's my little project I did. I made a Imperial attack base. Kenner, I just had the base. I have this original, like in its original form, but I picked up just this base and I gave it a paint job to make it look like a Minban, which I thought was kind of cool. So I wish I was a way I could like do a little bit more diorama displays. I mean, I worked on that diorama last year and I love it, but look how much room it takes up. It's huge. So I don't know. I mean, I may have to kind of rethink how I do some of this. So, but I am very excited to do the sale again. Again, it's not a reflection on my opinion of Star Wars at this moment. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars collecting. I love Star Wars content, whether it be movies or streaming. But I also am a person who has limited space, and I have slowly begun this kind of, I don't want to say purge attitude, but you know, an attitude of like, okay guys, I'm never going to be the collector that has everything. Okay, never going to be me. That is not me. That never will be me. So because of that, I want to, you know, have a little fun putting this collection. You know, I'll still increase it and decrease it. It'll kind of go back and forth, and I'm okay with that. I'm excited about that. So I will see where things go, and I'm excited to, you know, try to play around with it, but the sale allows me the ability to, you know, free up some space. Yeah, like, is this just a box? Oh. This has got figures in it. Do I have a... I need to put these out. Why is this here? Oh, that's going to be we got to get that out here. Oh my goodness. What the heck? That's going out there. See, sometimes I get so caught up with my regular job that it just, you know, I'm just not able to do everything I need to do. Anyway, what I was saying was that, so the sale. I'm actually going to start putting out information about the sale now. Okay, it's not for a while. It's about 5 months away. It's going to be June 26, 27, 28, and 29. Right here in the heart of Flemington, New Jersey. Okay, and it's going to have a ton of collectible items. Some vintage, okay, a couple of things that we might be putting out. We have a Darth Vader collector case here. got a couple of figures. Here's a Wicket vintage. We have a low gray. Okay, now there'll be more. Okay, but I will say, you know, that I have been kind of like checking out auctions and trying to purchase slightly improved figures. There's another thing I have to unbox. Is I gotta unbox my Moff Gideon Imperial Cruiser thing again. But even with the stuff getting put out into the sale boxes, I mean, my garage is like overflowing. That's why I think I want to do like a local flea market to try. These are other things that are probably going to go out as well. So I'm just, you know, very excited. There's 2 TIE Fighters. I'm probably going to unload one of those. Probably whichever one is not having issues with its with the wings, the tie pieces that are falling apart. But anyway, get a little more light here. I'm actually thinking I got to move a lot of these. When the HasLab, this is where I'm going to put the whole cantina. Is going to go right here. So I'm going to need to move some stuff. In fact, I might even like do a little bit of painting and get this whole thing like looking really nice. And then we'll see what we can do. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the future, man. There's a lot of cool things coming, and I'm ready to, you know, do some moving around. There's some dry. So let's talk about Legos. That's another thing I'm gonna do. There's some Lego pieces here and stuff that I'm gonna be getting rid of. I've decided to part with pretty much all of my Legos. Just keep a handful. Go back over here. This is what I have. All right, a couple of big pieces, a couple of middle pieces. I'm probably going to hold on to the Falcon for a little bit. Okay, this is the big Falcon. But as far as the rest, you know, most cases I have the boxes and instructions, I think. So I think what I'll be doing is just kind of like slowly putting pieces and just putting them in Ziplocs with their instructions. And then maybe the boxes are all broken down, but maybe I'll fix up the boxes and put them in the box and then put them out for the sale as well. So yeah, I like Lego. I love what Lego did. I have a great respect for Lego for the licensing that they've done and the things that they've been able to accomplish. And I'm very excited for what they did. But at the end of the day, Legos are Legos. I don't really feel as much of a connection to them. So I guess I'll probably keep a couple, you know, keep a few here. I like the advent calendars, and I'll probably still keep buying them and making them into stuff. So I've got a lot of little projects, you know. I want to continue doing some customization. Now my new favorite store is Ollie's, where I got all of these. I'm going to work on that. Here's all my paints. So I'm going to keep purchasing as many like foot soldier type characters so I can make multiple customization with the retro. I'm only going to stick to retro because I don't believe I have the brain power to handle the others. You know, I just realized there might be a reason I didn't open this. I have to look and see. Let me look at my retro figures here. I don't think, did I do them? No, I didn't. No, it doesn't look like any Acolyte figures there. So yeah, I guess maybe I ran out of room to put the loose figures. I probably should do some adjusting with that as well. Yeah, I have these on these like command hooks and stuff, and unfortunately they bend this way, so that's why they're all leaned forward. So it's kind of crazy. Anyway, so I got a lot of cool things I'm looking to do over the years, and then of course we also have, this will be part of the sale, we have my stickers, some Darth Tuba merch, some buttons, pins, things like that. That's all this stuff. That'll go out for sale as well. Oh yeah, and then that's the last thing I want to end with, and a little bit of kind of a sad thing, but I'll talk about it. So these are display pieces. All right, they go on shelves. My cousin, and for those who watch the channel know that my cousin Diane is the owner of a Hallmark store in the town I live in, but has decided to close the store. And it was a very difficult decision, but there's a lot of factors that I don't want to get into. But I support her decision. She's my family, and I care about her, and I want her to do what's right by her. So I totally support the decision she makes. But it does mean that my Hallmark connection is going away. Tier. So, and where does that affect us? Well, when it comes to things like ornaments, we may not be seeing a lot of ornament collecting anymore. I'll probably still collect, I'll go to a local Hallmark that I can find, or another shopping center that has Hallmark ornaments to pick up maybe a handful, but will not nearly be the amount that we've had. So just be prepared. There probably won't be any more of that moving forward, just because, well, for one thing, I have been getting a little bit, I don't want to say disgusted, that's too harsh of a word. I've been getting a little bit perturbed at Hallmark because they've been overdoing it on the ornaments, and there just isn't enough room on the trees anymore. So this is where my tree was for the studio, and I just last week put it away. So all right, so that's just kind of a walk through the collection, see where things are. As you can see, I'm not in any way removing. A lot of people are like, oh, you must be selling all of it. I'm like laughing. You have no idea. Come in and look. There it is. Mostly Star Wars. Okay, occasionally you might find some Batman, a few other minor items, but generally speaking, this is a Hallmark Star Wars collection through and through. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the next year brings, and there are things I'm looking around here and I'm saying, yeah, I think I can part with that. Yeah, I think I can part with this. I don't really think I need that. I want to, I look now and I see the space, and I think, this would be much better suited for fill in the blank. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where my brain is taking me right now, and that's why I don't mind parting with stuff. You can see there's space on these shelves because I've taken things off and I've put them out for sale. So, all right, please don't reach out about whether or not I'd be willing to to ship an item out. I'm really not in a place to do that right now. I don't have really any time to do that. It might change as we get closer to June, but June 26th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, that is the date of the sale. And even though I haven't kind of gone through what's going to be in the sale, I can tell you that some of the items you're looking at may be there. Okay, I haven't really finished. Part of the reason I haven't finished yet is that I don't really have the room to store it outside. So I may have to wait until the sale week itself. There may be things that if I have a really busy first day of the sale, I might turn around and say, okay, it's time to sell something else or bring something else out. So that's kind of how I do it. So, all right. So that's my stream of consciousness for January 2025. I'm really looking forward to the year. I do have a few planned trips. We have a Disneyland trip. It's a work trip that we'll be doing. So hopefully I'll get a video in for that. I don't want to say what's up for that because obviously it's work related, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do, so I don't want to plan anything, but I will hopefully be able to get some video and share that out sometime in the middle of the spring. We have our planned trip down to Florida in July. It's a little different this year. Our daughter is no longer down there. She moved back up, so we're still going for an extended trip in the summer, but it'll be a little more relaxed. It'll be a little more just kind of, we're not doing anything we're not doing a cruise or anything like that. We're just kind of hanging out, kind of laying low, but still be visiting the parks. I will be spending a lot of time in Galaxy's Edge, my home away from home. Okay, we have, of course, be really excited to see what announcements come out for anything related to Star Wars at Star Wars Celebration. No, I am not going to Japan. I was tempted, but the reality of it is my work trip is right around that time, so there would be no way for me to do that. And also the expense of getting to Japan alone. I mean, I think my budget for the last celebration I went, the budget I had for the entire trip to Celebration, hotel, flight, food, and money to buy things was less expensive than it would cost to just fly to Japan. So, yeah, that's a problem. I appreciate things cost more money, I know. So I just not doing that. However, if they do, I'm hoping that the next one they announce will be an Orlando one, and if that is the case, you can bet that is my number one goal, is to get back to Celebration in on the East Coast. Definitely the East Coast. If it happens on the West Coast, I still might try, but we'll see. And so we got those reviews to look forward to, and a couple other, and from there, it's just continue to do my unboxings, prep for sales, things of that nature. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that stuff. Share out the channel, folks. All right, I'm a small, but I find it small but mighty channel, and I appreciate those who view. I know a lot of them are my students, and I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for helping drive viewership. Check me out on Instagram, Bluesky. There's a Facebook Darth Tuba unboxing group that you can join. Look for that. Do a search for that, and you can find it. I'll put information about it in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you. And here's to an awesome 2025.